So what does today mean for Oregon?
These are very tough economic times, but with the help of Earl Blumenauer and the good folks in the House of Representatives, there is an enduring legacy now for Oregonians. We've been able to protect some of Oregon's most special places: Mount Hood, Badlands, Copper Salmon, trails, monuments, conservation areas, and I'd also like to say that this is going to be a very significant contribution to our economic engine. Outdoor recreation generates more than $5 billion in revenue for Oregonians every single year. So this is going to be a shot in the arm for the economy.
Congressman?
Absolutely. Ron's right, and it is going to make a difference for years to come. This provides a roadmap for these special places, like Mount Hood, that we've been working on for so many years, an opportunity to guide investments for transportation around the wilderness areas. And these wilderness areas provide a huge amount of our water supply. So this will be protected in perpetuity. It's going to make a difference for Oregonians in terms of their mindset, environmental protection, the economy, and I think is going to be a model for the sort of bipartisan, bicameral approach that's going to make a difference in the future.
And Congressman Blumenauer is making a very good point about how bipartisan this has been. The two of us have worked with our colleagues, certainly Gordon Smith and Greg Walden have teamed up, but we've also had scores of meetings where Oregonians of both political parties, independents, conservatives, liberals, you name it, all of them teamed up, just as Congressman Blumenauer has said. This is a legacy for Oregon. It has nothing to do with partisanship.
Expand on that. Give me a sense of how much time and energy has been put into these bills.
Well, just the one piece for me, having started working on Mount Hood more than 7 years ago to try and help develop a vision. And in fact, Senator Wyden was a part of our very first Mount Hood summit, where we were developing a vision involving hundreds of Oregonians that were a part of it. Greg Walden and I actually hiked around the mountain for 3 days, but it has been an effort with Native Americans, with environmentalists, local governments, obviously people in both the House and the Senate, that the stakeholders really had a stake. I've been doing this a long time. But nothing has given me greater satisfaction than watching the pieces come together for the Mount Hood Wilderness and the other special places around Oregon.
How does it make you feel about the new Congress and the new president?
It certainly has been a long time coming. We tried and tried year after year, and certainly it shouldn't have taken this long. But the fact that Oregonians were patient, they said, get the job done. They said, get the job done right. And finally now we've been able to get it over the finish line. I think it's also appropriate to note that in these tough economic times, folks will say, what does this mean for the Oregon economy? You look, for example, at the skiing season. They had a banner year this year. Those are the kinds of contributions that Oregonians are going to see as a result of this legislation. It's going to be a boost for the economy. Outdoor recreation is a very significant part of generating wages and good paying jobs in our state, and this is going to help.
It's also important for Oregonians to be able to use these special places, because this is a very cost-effective family vacation, or it is an afternoon out to cross-country ski, to hike, to look at wildlife. These are opportunities that are budget stretchers while they are spirit enhancers. So it's going to make a difference, not just in terms of the economy, as Ron has mentioned, but it's going to make a difference to individual families for their personal satisfaction and stretching that budget.
A day in the Badlands, an afternoon on Mount Hood, those are going to be extra special now as a result of this legislation. And as Congressman Blumenauer has said, this is going to mean a lot for the quality of life of the people of our state, but it's also going to be a very significant boost to the economy.
So what would you just say to anyone outside of Oregon, or even Oregonians, about how to celebrate this day, or maybe they should come to Oregon?
Well, I sincerely hope that this is sort of an opportunity for over 3 2/3 million Oregonians to maybe, as they look at these accounts in the media and the newspaper, to look at either of our websites, to take advantage of some of these special places that have been preserved, because as a native Oregonian, there's some of these that I haven't yet visited. And I'm hopeful that this is the way that we can all take advantage of this to enrich our lives a little bit, see part of Oregon that we weren't aware of, and be able to cherish that opportunity.
My message would be that in these tough economic times, and Congressman Blumenauer and I are going off to wrestle with the numbers in the Budget Committee, and these are a challenge. A lot of Oregon families are trying to figure out how to send their kids to college. Even youngsters that have been accepted, they're trying to figure out how to send them in the fall. What we can say is we've been able to do something that's going to help our state. It's going to help Oregonians enjoy our public lands. They're gems, they're treasures for our state, and it's also going to give us a more secure foundation as we deal with the challenges ahead.